This is the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. It shoots 8K video and has a 108 megapixel camera. All right, so this is where you guys come in. You're invited to enter the Xiaomi My Home Movie competition, where you'll have to make your own film under 5 minutes at home. So here's the film that I made using the Mi 10 Pro. Hey, just checking in. How you holding up? This is a question I've asked a lot of friends, but funny enough, the one person I never asked was myself. The answer, I'm better now. Been working on a few things. Not photos, not videos, not projects. I've been working on myself. It sounds so silly, but if I'm being honest, I've always worried way too much of what people think of me. It's been a common thread throughout the better part of my adulthood. I should wear this, say this, and do this so people will like me. It's extremely paralyzing. I think I've always understood the concept of you can't make everyone happy, but I was chatting with a friend a few days ago and he perfectly summed it up. He said, it feels like you've actually been able to connect that message with your heart. I'm still a work in progress, but for the first time in a while, I feel like I can be more of myself in everything that I do. For example, I was singing and playing guitar a few nights ago, and I actually got lost in the song. Normally I'd be worried about what Lizzie would think of my singing. Is it out of tune? Am I singing the wrong lyrics? Of course she doesn't care. She's my fiance. There's a great quote from one of the world's best poets, Dr. Seuss. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I've learned something lately. People will always love the real you. Hi everybody. I hope you enjoyed that film. It's something I've wanted to share on this channel for a while now. Everything I talked about was not just like, oh, I just made a short film. Like that's how I've been feeling during this quarantine. It's something that I've been feeling for a long time now, like I mentioned in the video, the better part of my adulthood. And I feel like I'm finally just getting to that point now where I can create without the worry of what will people think. So hopefully that message resonated with you guys at home. It's something I've worked on for a while right here. Can you guys also believe that entire thing was shot on this guy right here? That's the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. I think it looked great. The image quality is absolutely amazing. Also 8K video. This world we live in now, come on. So to give you an idea of what's gonna be happening in this video right now moving forward, we're gonna have a behind the scenes look at how we shot that film, everything from the creative decisions on shots as well as the technical. So hopefully you'll be able to take that into your own films at home, as well as there's a contest at the end. So let's jump into step by step of how we made this film. Hi everybody. Ugh. Welcome to my closet. We're doing the voiceover right now. The reason why we're in the closet is because it's very quiet in here because there's so many clothes. I think this is the only time ever that I will say, Lizzie, I'm so glad you have so many clothes because it works for voiceovers. The thing about voiceovers that's really important is that it can make or break a film. So one of the things that I've learned from the voiceover queen, Miss Lizzie Pierce, is try to do a voiceover like you're having a conversation with someone. It's easy to always make it sound like you're reading from a script. What you want to be able to do is like read it, then kind of put it in your own words. I think when you're in your head and you're recording a voiceover, you're talking on camera, you're like, oh, I need to talk like this because this is how presenters talk. Talk like how you're talking to a single person, and that always comes across better than you trying to be like,
over the land, Simba rises from his kingdom.
You don't need to talk like that, unless the script is about the Lion King, but in this case, it's nuanced, it's me talking, so I'm gonna try to do my best to have a conversation. Here's a little behind the scenes of us recording a voiceover. I've also had to burp that entire time. 1 second. Oh God. Okay, let's record. All right, getting the levels. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Recording. Speeding. Hey, 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 hey. All right, so those takes went pretty well. I was happy with it. We did about 3 takes, and by the 3rd take, I finally got into a good groove. You know, we can go back later and re-record anything if we need to, but I think we have it. Now we're gonna get back to filming. All right, welcome to our first shot. So when you watched that short film that we created, you probably noticed the big fancy transition where we went through the door and now we're down by the water. Also, Also, by the way, this is a part of the contest. I'll tell you a little bit about that more later on in the video. I always think it's important to put a lot of time into your first shot. They say that people make a decision if they want to watch your video or not within the first 10 to 15 seconds, if you're lucky. Honestly, with attention spans now, I think it's like 2 to 3 seconds. So make sure your first shot is perfect. So for this, when we first shot it, we had shadows everywhere. We just had natural light from the windows, and the shot just didn't look that great. So I was like, all right, well, why don't we bring in a light? We'll bounce it off the ceiling, add a little bit more light to the room. So we're gonna do 2 takes. So if you look here, this is without any lighting, and then this is what the shot looks like with lighting. The nice thing is that it's more even and a little less dramatic. But one of the things is when you're shooting on a phone, you want to try to get the cleanest image as possible. So I like adding light. In this situation, what we're doing is we have big diffusion light, it's bouncing off the ceiling and then kind of filling up the room. So if you need to add more light to a scene where it's soft and looks nice on skin, what you want to do is you want to point your light up, and especially if you have like white ceilings, the light will spread out everywhere, and then it will add kind of like a softer look on people's faces versus like harsh light when you point a light directly at it. But still, like the dynamic range isn't looking that good. There's some like hot spots with white and some darker areas. So like, how do we even this all out so it looks better? We have blinds. Let's put the blinds down. All right, that's looking a little bit better. These are all the little details until we got our final shot, which then we set up the camera, we put it on the wide camera. I had my arm in it so that it looked like a POV of opening the door. I put the camera down to my chest. I brought my arm out so that you could see it, and I slowly walked up with the steady stance. Do not move, try to keep this as steady as possible. The camera also has in-body stabilization, which is really nice and will add to it, but if you can also be another stabilizer, it's an added benefit. It makes the shot look really good. So do the stabilizer walk, arm out, POV, and now that we have perfect lighting, we're just gonna do a few takes of getting the shot, and by the 4th take, we had our shot. Let's do a quick playback on that. So again, to summarize all that, make sure you spend some time on your first shot because it's so important. All right, so what you might have noticed as we start getting through the film is that there was a locked off shot on a tripod over the shoulder, looking at the computer while we're catching up with friends. When you hear the word cinematic, what are like the first things that come to mind? Generally, it's like, oh, cinematic, movement. But I think we all forget that in film, a lot of shots are just locked off. I don't know if you guys are fans of Matt Diavella, he has an amazing channel, but if you watch any of his films or any of his YouTube videos, most of the shots are just shot on sticks, sticks being a tripod. If you hear me say sticks again in the future, I'm talking about a tripod. So what we've done here is we've put the phone on a tripod, which is something I think a lot of people forget when they're shooting with a cell phone, because normally it's just in your pocket, you bust it out, you hold it kind of steady and you're like, this shot looks good. But if you put it on sticks, it looks that much better. And if you have a well-composed shot, it can look cinematic. So don't forget, bust out that tripod, put your phone on it, try to get some locked off shots because that can still be cinematic if you compose your shot nicely. So if you guys don't own a slider or a gimbal or anything like that, one of the things that you guys can do is put your phone on a tripod. In this case, we can shoot at 8K. So we're gonna switch to the 8K mode. And what you can do is if you shoot a little wider in post-production after the fact, you can actually create a pan movement if you want by keyframing that in. So when you have your 8K footage, let's say it's this big, you can now zoom in on that clip. You can pick this as frame 1 and then have it digitally move across the frame, and you can add movement in post-production. It's a little pro tip for you. Okay, so now we're in the part of the film where we're showing a sequence of me in the shower, looking at my skin in the mirror. The reason why we're showing this set of sequences is that it's generally pretty relatable. And in the context of the film where I'm revealing to everyone that like, hey, I'm really worried what people think about me. One of those things that I worry about is, what do I look like? And I think we can all kind of connect with that a little bit. So we wanted to show a sequence of me in the shower, looking at the mirror, checking out my skin, checking out like my beard, shaving, picking out clothes, because all of that connects back to the storyline and the main message of the video. From a technical standpoint, you might have noticed in the shower scene that I didn't just show myself taking a shower. We tried to be a little bit more artistic with it. So on this phone, there's a macro mode. We did a macro of the water dripping along the glass so that it wasn't just like, look at Chris taking a shower. It's a little bit more tasteful and artistic. All right, I feel like one of the classic things when we start shooting cinematic sequences is we add the zoom, zoom, Those are black bars. We find that little PNG on the internet, we bring it into Premiere Pro or wherever we're editing it in, and we say, boom, black bar, black bar. Look, mom and dad, cinematic. It's true, it looks more cinematic because that's what we see in Hollywood. One of the things that a lot of shooters do is that they just shoot in normal 16:9 aspect ratio, and then they add the black bars on afterwards and they slightly reframe. What I appreciate about the Xiaomi Mi 10 is that in their camera app, they actually allow you to add those bars in while you're shooting so you can frame properly in that aspect ratio rather than being like, hope this looks good with cinematic bars. So it's important to try to capture it on set earlier. If you don't have an app that can do this, just literally take black tape, put a little strip at the top, put a little strip at the bottom, and then make sure when you're shooting, you're framing accordingly. That way you get everything that looks cinematic and you're not gonna miss anything in post-production. All right, so we just finished the scene where I'm playing guitar for Lizzie. What you might have noticed at this point in the video is there's a lot more movement because we're starting to progress through it. At the beginning, it was a little bit more static shots because it's more melancholy, but now we're starting to see I'm opening up. I'm getting more comfortable with the idea of being myself around others. So let's add some more movement, let's add some color, let's add some more brightness to the shot. So what we did to add movement is we shot it on a gimbal, a phone gimbal specifically. And what you wanna do in this case to get really great shots, and one of my favorite things to do, is shoot on the tele lens on your camera. So on the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, there are a few different cameras. There's a wide camera, there's a medium camera, and then there's a tele camera. I like shooting on the tele camera because it's a bit more compressed, looks way more cinematic. And when you're shooting on a gimbal and doing a circular movement around your object, the background moves very quickly. That's called parallax. So when you have your subject, you're rotating around the subject, the background is really epic and cinematic. So that's when you shoot on a longer lens, and the longer your lens, the more dramatic the movement is in the background. So that's a little pro tip when shooting with a phone gimbal. Okay guys, on a side note, Luna was in the other room and I was like, I wanna go take a photo of her. This phone has a 108 megapixel sensor on it. Look at, you just keep zooming. The quality keeps getting there. What is happening? What is going on? Seriously, this phone's amazing. We're super stoked. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, we're at the end now. If you saw any value in this, please press like. It's right down there. Just go over there, you go, bloop, and then you go, Chris, did you see I liked it? And I go, thank you. All right guys, we are at the end of this video. Hopefully you learned a little something and you enjoyed my short film. That's a message that means a lot to me right now, so hopefully that resonated with you. On a side note, there's a competition going on right now. You guys can submit your own cinematic videos for your chance to win one of these phones or some of the other Xiaomi products that are available right now. In order to be entered into the competition, you must have a door opening sequence at the beginning of your cinematic film. If you guys wanna go and check out the rest of the details, links are below to be submitted to the contest, and your video will also be shared on the Xiaomi social pages. Get seen by millions? I'm into that. Links are where they always are. I love you guys. We'll see you soon. I want to go take some photos of Luna because 108 megapixels. Let's go. Don't go back to sleep. Oh, you actually listened? No way. Oh, God. Oh, your eye kind of looks a little weird there. Go back to sleep. Don't sleep with one eye open. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me right now? Why are you so cute? You're a little ball. Oh, look at his little face.